Larry says, hello, I'm stumbled onto your video from May, local GMB Pro Revealed, generate leads from Google without SEO, and watched most of the video. I went to find the video to finish watching it, and now I found local Lease Pro, the Side Hustle Toolbox that was released. Does this newer one replace the one from May? How long does the training take to begin using? Great question, Larry. No, local Lease Pro is that's the more current course. Like, in other words, let me rephrase that. That is the newer course. They're both current. The difference is local Lease Pro is how to go out and find easy opportunities for securing local GMB or Google My Business assets to build your own lead generation business that then you lease those assets out to local businesses, right? It's about finding easy or low-hanging fruit opportunities, right? That are going to take little to no optimization work to start producing results. Okay. So what we're looking for is low competition stuff. And so all of that, local Lease Pro teaches how to do all of that. It's really the location research part of it is really important. And that's what we're going to be updating in 2 weeks when I do the update webinar. And that, again, as I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, guys, is going to be 100% public. Everybody can come see it. So you can learn about the location research there, or at least the updated process. It will only be public for about 24, maybe 48 hours. And then you have to be a member of the mastermind or in the local Lease Pro course to be able to see that once we turn it, from public to private. Anyways, the local Lease Pro business is about that. Local GMB Pro, that's about how to take GMB assets that are maybe in more competitive areas and how it's like the advanced GMB or Google My Business training. So if you want to boil it down into the Reader's Digest version, local Lease Pro is the beginner, is for people that are looking to get started in the lead gen business. Local GMB Pro is the advanced training. That's for when you have GMB assets that aren't producing as well as you would like them to do. You apply local GMB Pro methods and they will start producing. It's for those uber competitive areas that you're having trouble getting results for Maps listings or Google My Business listings. And by applying the GMB Pro training, you'll be able to get, or the methods, by applying the methods, you'll be able to start getting better results from them. Okay. So again, local Lease Pro is the front end. Local GMB Pro is like the advanced training for more competitive stuff. Okay.
I would add that sometimes in local Lease Pro, you're going to get something stubborn that refuses to move.
Yep.
You apply local GMB methods and the sucker just moves. If it doesn't, you hit it with local PR Pro. Our stuff goes hand in hand because you hit it with local PR Pro. If that doesn't do it, then you hit it. Then you hit it with the drive stack, and behind that, the local PR Pro, so that you stack the press releases into the drive stack, which is going into the local PR Pro, the local GMB Pro methods, which is going to the local Lease Pro method, and it just becomes just this awesome. I don't know. It's a nuclear missile aimed at whatever it is that you're trying to rank for. And I know people that are ranking in hyper competitive stuff. You guys met Gary, right?
Yeah.
And he's taking on. And I'm not going to mention his metro area, but he's taking on a metro area and dominating the websites that you were just mentioned. What was it? Trulia, Trulia. And Remax and Century 21, you name it, and he's dominating them because he's driving so much power. And what we're talking about here, for lack of a better word, because I don't want to use anybody else's whatever they call power. I call it power. It's power that we're generating, guys, and we just show you how.
Yeah, and last thing I want to mention about that is it's funny because when we talked about. It's kind of weird, but when for years, the first step was always build a WordPress site, whether it was a lead gen asset or for a client, either one, I would always build a WordPress site. And then the very first thing I would do would set up a syndication network. Well, now it's funny because now I'm not building WordPress websites at all, unless it's for a client and they want it. But for all my lead gen stuff, I'm not building any WordPress websites. Why? Why go through all that trouble and hassle, buying domains, setting up hosting, building it out, content, silos, all that shit? Don't need all that stuff, man. We can get results using the Google my business assets, the tools that they give you, and they're free and they're easy to set up, right? And so what's funny is I used to always build syndication networks was like first step out of the gate after the website was built. Well, now syndication networks are like the last thing that I add to a lead gen asset, that from starting with the local Lease Pro method, that start there. Then if I have an asset that needs the additional push, I apply local GMB Pro methods. And then if it still needs an additional push, we do local PR Pro. Well, to be 100% transparent, I always standard operating procedures. I use press releases for everything I do anyways. So I'm already applying a press release to the asset to begin with. If it still needs additional push, then we'll do a drive stack. And if I still need a push after that, I'll set up a syndication network for it and then set up through our GMB auto poster. We get an RSS feed from the GMB posts, which then I can start syndicating my GMB posts out to a branded network for that lead gen asset, which will absolutely get results. So that's like the final nail in the coffin if I need it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of funny because it's transposed. I used to always do the syndication networks first, and now it's the last damn thing that I add, which is funny. It's not because they don't work. It's just because it's a lot of additional work to set them up, and it's not something that's needed for the lead gen assets unless it's uber competitive, right? So it's funny how things change.